and the wrist levers. Just get those real loose and relaxed. Get your mindset straight. I think you should make sure that you eat a good healthy breakfast in the morning, have some fuel in the tank and some energy. Don't just rush out the door. And that means if you got to get up a half hour earlier than you normally do to be proactive, then you just do it. Again, you're going to be different. You're going to live a proactive life, not a reactive life. Reactive is hitting the snooze bar 4 times and then you're rushing, trying to rush out the door and just grabbing what you can. Okay, so step 1 of the adjustment is obviously the approach phase. So basically, I'm going to make sure right away my whole body is relaxed. And I know from step 1, when I do that, I like to do that little relaxation drill. Find where your humeral head is, find your tension level, and make sure as you go through each of these steps, you maintain that relaxation level. Because if you're going through all this and then you lose sight of that, then you're going to tense up, and then you're going to wonder why you're struggling with the adjustment. So the 2 biggest things to keep in mind during the whole adjustment is your tension level and your weight control. So those are the 2 overlying principles of all this, is always be aware of your tension level and your weight control. Very important. Okay, so remember we do the neck lock reflex. Let's, again, just practice on a 3-3 is fine. As I advance the inside foot, I'm going to, just for me, do the hand reminder drill so I make sure I don't advance the hip. And I'm not going to allow any lateral movement. So in my mind, I'm thinking of these things. I'm thinking no hip movement forward, no lateral sway. So I might even hold my hand like right here. And I'll do the slight step. Remember, I'm going to also make sure I get some spinal incline as I go down. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side and get some spinal incline. Now, the plantar reflexes, remember, I don't just gradually do them. I make sure that I'm drilling my foot into the ground. Then as I settle back, again, I got to be aware of my weight control. So before I move on to the next step, I'm asking myself 2 things. What's my tension level and where's my weight at? Okay? So I ask myself that. Oh, it's a little back of my heel, so I'm going to make sure it's more forward on the outside foot. Then I'm going to settle back. So again, pelvis leads, everything else follows. I'm going to draw the pelvis back. I felt my weight shift to my heel, I shift it back out. Again, tension level, weight control. Draw the pelvis back as a unit, let everything else move together, shift my weight back. Draw the pelvis back, this. Draw the pelvis back, this. Now, I'm going to have to be kinesthetically aware that I am at 15 degrees, and 0 to 10 degrees. So I have my associate, and you should do this each morning when you're working with somebody or mentoring somebody. Measure your angles and see if what you think you are at, you're not. And sometimes you won't be. That's how you get good at it. You'll get the feedback. And you'll, oh, that feels that. They'll tweak your shoulders. You'll think you need a little more A to P foot spread. Maybe you moved your hip forward. We all make those mistakes. So you just got to think through that. But if you don't have feedback, then you won't know that. So if you're going to go work for somebody, tell them about these drills. Do they know about these drills? Are they willing to work with you 10, 15 minutes in the morning, maybe at lunch? Is it reality that that's what's going to, otherwise, how is that person going to mentor you? So are they committed to what we're talking about, being proactive and really getting this work down, or is it just some kind of business relationship? So you got to ask yourself those things, where you're going to go work. And maybe you'll inspire the senior doctor to, get involved in doing training. And they don't even have to be good at it. As long as the 2 of you can combine and put the work in, then that's fine. So there's not going to necessarily be perfection out there, but you're the proactive person. So you may end up initiating and rocking that senior doctor's world, and you guys help each other because you're committed to this, doing the drills and being proactive. So that's all I'm thinking about is weight control and my tension level. Got to be relaxed. Notice how I keep taking the pelvis back and then shifting my weight back out until I feel like I'm at the proper angles. Then as I turn in, I make sure that, again, everything moves as a unit, and I just rotate around, pivoting around the ankles, or rotating around. And then I make sure everything I do, I feel like it should be a subtle movement. So I always remind myself that as well. So probably 3 things: weight control, relaxation, subtle movements. Don't overdo anything. And usually everything you do is going to be initiated from lower body, pelvis, not anything in the upper body. So keep the upper body out of it and relaxed. Now, I make sure when I take contact, I have that good firm arch. I keep it the whole time. I make sure that I didn't reach for the contact. If I felt like I had to reach, I start over. Then I feel like my base of support was set too far away. So if you have, that's the tall tale sign. If you have to reach for the contact, something's wrong. And don't just reach for it, because then you're going to throw everything off. I'm just trying to share with you the patterns and the questions you ask yourself when you go through it. So I get a good contact. Now the roll in, I make sure I do each step individually. I draw the tissue, get the pisiform in there, good radial deviation, rotate from the humeral head both ways, wrist break, drop the fingers, unwind, feel like I'm good and tight in there, convert, just that subtle movement back, let go. Where's my tie? It's right there, so I feel pretty good about the position I'm in. Now, again, weight control. Before I pull a triceps, I'm definitely going to ask myself, where's my weight? Nope, needs to be more on the outside foot. Where's my tension level? I'll be honest, mine was at about a 5. I got to get back to about a 2. And then just isolate the triceps. And that's it. You'll feel the resistance break down. Back off, go through the steps again. Maybe reposition the patient's. If you didn't feel great, what I do is if it felt really good, I'll just go through the steps again and then pull again. If the next time, within the first 4 to 5 times, if it doesn't feel great, I'll back off. I'll usually reposition headpiece placement and then go back through and do it again.